Hello and welcome to another session of Segi University and College's virtual open day. My name is CY. I'm your host today, and with me is Associate Dean Miss Caroline Chu from the Joint Faculty of Education Segi Group of Colleges. Miss Caroline, it's nice to have you on the show.
I'm very happy to be here today, CY.
So we are here this afternoon to talk about reimagining early childhood care and education, the right heart, mind, and skill set of future educators. Miss Caroline, could you do a brief introduction about yourself and to give our audience out there a brief introduction about what we are going to share this afternoon?
Okay, it's going to be very difficult for me to give a brief introduction of myself. So maybe I will just skip that and move into what we are going to be talking about. Yes, which is predominantly about reimagining early childhood care and education. Yeah. So basically, this session is going to be looking at what's going to be in store for you if you want to move into the early childhood industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So before we get into that, here's a little bit about who we are. We are the SEGI group of colleges, and you can see that we are found like literally across the nation, both East and West Malaysia, North and South, and of course in the Klang Valley. So in terms of education, specifically in early childhood, all our campuses, whether it's the Penang, the Subang, KL, Kuching, the Johor, or KL campus, yes, we offer the diploma in early childhood. We also offer BA Honours Early Years Education, and this is offered in collaboration with the University of Greenwich, UK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Subang campus has two additional programs, which is the Certificate in Early Childhood Care and Education, as well as something which is known as Integrating Montessori Practice that we do in collaboration with Montessori Centre International, UK. Yeah. So here's a very quick look at the University of Greenwich, which has been around for like over a century. Yes. And we also like to tell everybody, CY, that the education faculty is in discussion with quite a number of universities in Australia, in UK, and in New Zealand as well. Yes, in the final stages actually on articulation pathways to degrees in early childhood as well.
Wow, that's very exciting. And I also heard that you're also in discussion with a university in Finland.
Yes, that's also in the pipeline, and we should be signing the final papers quite soon. And what the students will get, students on our diploma in early childhood education, when they study with us, not only will they graduate with the diploma, they will also get a certification from Finland. And that will open a lot of opportunities for employment for our students if they want to use play-based learning in the many schools worldwide these days who are moving towards Finnish education.
Right.
And Finnish education is
It's world famous, isn't it?
Yes, it's like number one.
Yeah. So it's very, very exciting times for Faculty of Education. Let's move on to our topic today. These are the four things that we're going to talk about, right?
Yes. So if there are no technical issues during this session, we're going to look at the topic of reimagining early childhood care and education. I'm going to call it ECCE for short, otherwise it's a super mouthful.
So students, please write this down. If you are interested in education, you should know what ECCE stands for.
Okay. Yeah. So, and we want to make sure that when you choose this line, that you have the right heart, you have the right mind, and you have the right skill sets. Because if you don't have that, it's going to be quite difficult for you to remain in the industry. Yeah. So, four parts to today's session. The first part will cover something called inspiring journeys. And then we're going to give you a glimpse of what life would be like as an ECCE professional. And that's after that, you need to ask yourself, do you have what it takes to be part of this industry? And if you think that this is your dream, your goal, then we are going to look at what you should do next. Yeah. Okay. This is a picture of one of our graduating groups from the degree in early years.
Mm.
Yeah. Each time the students finish their program, they have a graduation showcase.
Mhm.
And very often the graduation showcases are held in shopping malls. Like, for example, this was held in Summit. Yes. And the most recent one before we got hit with COVID was held at Taman Mall.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is consistent in all of our other campuses as well?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So students, you can also visit the next early years education showcase, graduation showcase, the ones that is upcoming. Just stay tuned to the to all of our social media accounts, and you know the dates. Yeah. So moving forward,
Okay, I need to go back to the previous slide.
right?
Yes, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, the one with the picture of the graduation showcase.
Oh, sorry. Here you go.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I put this picture here to remind me to actually talk about this point.
Mm.
When the students are at the point of graduation, we always like to ask them, what was your journey like with us? Yeah. Why did you actually join us? And what did you get out the whole experience? Yeah. And I also like to ask them, is this what you wanted to do?
Mhm.
Yeah. And sometimes we get students, who from day one already know that they were born to become early childhood educators. Yeah. So there's a very big yes. I know why I'm doing this, and I definitely am going to finish it. And we know that years down the road, they will be very strong in the industry.
Mhm.
Then we also have students who come in not wanting to study early childhood because it's somebody else's dream.
Oh.
Maybe it's their parents who own centers and they want them to take over.
Mhm.
Or maybe the parents think that this is going to be a good profession for them.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then we also have students who really have no idea why they're in their course. Yeah. But having said that, whether you are definitely into early childhood, don't even want to be in early childhood, yes, and I'm not sure why you are in early childhood, the study of early childhood is not going to be a waste,
Mhm.
whether you pursue it as a profession or not. Yeah. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, early childhood knowledge and competencies, yes, make you a better father, a better mother, uncle, aunt, friend
Mhm.
to any young child that comes into your life. Yeah. So it's a early childhood is almost as though it's a life skill.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
it's not just about education.
It's not
It's
just
about
about that.
life. It's
Yes.
something greater than that, isn't it?
Yes. Very true.
Mhm.
Yeah. So whether you are definitely into early childhood, not into early childhood, and not quite sure why you're in this course, all our campuses nationwide will support you in your study.
Yeah, and at this point, I also like to ask those of you who are connecting in with us online, leave a comment down below and let us know which category are you. Are you the category that says, I'm born for this, or are you maybe being forced into this talk by your parents or by your guardians, but make sure they don't see you commenting, uh, or you are not sure what to do yet. Do leave that. Do let us know as well in the comment section, and we'll be able to assist you moving forward.
Okay, so very quickly, we're just going to go through some slides. Just want to share with everyone, CY.
Mhm.
Yes, what some of our students are doing. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, this is Sulin. Sulin came in with us straight after school, and she did the diploma in Montessori.
Mhm.
And then after that, she worked for a while, and she continued on to do our degree in the early years. After which, she moved to Singapore and she continued in the industry, working in early childhood.
Mhm.
And then after that, she decided that she wanted to specialize in music. Yeah, so she's now working in Kinder Music Singapore and enjoying it.
Mhm.
And this is Anna. Anna, like Sulin, came into our diploma in early childhood straight out of secondary school.
Ah.
And after she completed her diploma with us, Anna moved on to pursue her degree in early years
Mhm. The
with the
BAEYE program.
yes, with the University of Greenwich. And upon graduation, Anna took a trip down to Australia to survey the early childhood settings. and she had wonderful ideas, yes, on how she wanted to set up her school. And she went to China and did shopping. Yeah, and she got back a whole lot of material, and you can see in the slide how beautiful Anna's school is. And this is Little Land Kindergarten in Makota Cheras. So after Anna started her center as an entrepreneur, yes, then she decided to settle down, and much later, she had her family, and now she has, I think, one son.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So it's like profession, and then after that.
Yeah,
So
and what's interesting about Anna's story is she started her own business, or she started her own school almost immediately after her
yes.
graduation. Our students are prepared to do that too.
Yes, yeah. There are lots of opportunities for graduates to go into entrepreneurship, yes, or what they call edupreneurship, yes. And you don't have to worry so much about the funds, because there are going to be lots of organizations who are willing to help finance your
And I guess
dream.
and I guess that's what makes Sergey's education program special as well, because not only do we teach you to be an educator, that's the fundamental of what we should be teaching you, but more about that, we teach you to be an edupreneur as well, right? So that's Anna's story right there.
Yeah.
Moving on to Miss Patricia, which is very famous in the industry, isn't it?
So the story of Sulin and Anna are very close to the story of Patricia Tay, who is a very good friend of ours. She's an industry advisor for the college. Yes. With Miss Patricia Tay, straight out of secondary school, Patricia went to London to do her diploma in Montessori. And she was very young at that point in time. Yeah, and when she came back, she started her very first center in 1982.
Wow.
Yeah, so people in the Klang Valley are quite familiar with Tadika, Peter, and Jane. You know, it's like an iconic early childhood establishment. Yeah, so that was back in 1982, and this very young person came back, started her center. Yes, and at that point in time, there wasn't that much support for early childhood. It wasn't considered a profession. In fact, we are still fighting to make it recognized as, how shall I say, help me out here, CY. what shall we say?
Professional. You mean a professional profession? Like
professional.
What kind of word is that?
Yeah. So it's like, you know, people sometimes think that if you want to go into early childhood, yeah, you don't need to have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, a lot of people think that, you know, I graduate from high school, I got nothing to do. I just go do it as a part-time while I figure my life out. It's more than that, right?
Yes. So Mrs. Patricia Tay was way ahead of her time in the sense that she knew what she wanted. And since 1982 to now, yes, we can see how Patricia over the years, yes, had advocated for quality early childhood services. Yeah. So I work very closely with Patricia because we are both on an organization which is called the ECCE Council.
Oh, yes, do tell. Do share with the viewers about the ECCE Council.
So the ECCE Council was set up back in 2011, and we are celebrating our 10th anniversary. It was set up with the whole idea of professionalizing the industry, and that was in 2011.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Patricia Tay's kindergarten was established in 1982.
Wow. 10 years before that.
Okay, it's like years ahead, yeah. So she has been in this industry for a very long time, and she advocates for quality services. Yes, and we have the opportunity of having Mrs. Patricia Tay very often in the college or sometimes through webinar, sharing her wealth of experiences and her passion, yes, for early childhood with our students, yeah. Okay, so if you move on to the next slide, the gentleman on the far left, that would be Mr. Chia Eng Kun, who is another industry advisor for us, and also on the executive committee of the ECCE Council. Yes, Mr. Chia has a group of kindergartens under what is known as the Talent Group. Yeah, just like Mrs. Patricia Tay, Mr. Chia knew that he wanted to do early childhood.
Mm.
Yeah, at a time when not many gentlemen would enter into the field.
Mm.
And sadly, the numbers that we have of male ECCE students is still quite
Very
low.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe in a class of 20 or 30 students, we are lucky to have one or two male students. Yeah. So again, Mr. Chia was ahead of his time. Now, I'm always very impressed with Mr. Chia for his passion for learning. Yeah, he will never stop learning, and he will go all out to learn. And Mr. Chia once said to us, yes, that if you're going to be in early childhood, you cannot go in with one toe. You cannot even go in with one foot. You've got to immerse yourself into early childhood, whole body and soul.
Wholeheartedly, yeah.
So that is why, the session today is about you got to have the right heart. You got to have the right mind. And then once you've got that, you will know whether you are early childhood material or not. Yeah, we are very fussy about who we allow to enter into the industry for the very simple reason that the early childhood professional is going to be working with the most important period in human life, which is the early years. So if we mess up in the first 6 years of life, it's going to be downhill all the way. But if we get it right in the first 6 years of life,
You could change lives.
yes. So it is like the future of our nation, of the world, lies in the hands of the early childhood professional. Yes, which is why, like what you said earlier on, yeah, you cannot just go into this industry now. Yeah, because there's so much research that has come out that says, that kindergarten teachers, childcare center providers, yes, all of us, yes, are so important in the impact that we have, yes, on the human capital, yeah, of the
And
nation.
actually, the government recognized this as well back in 2018. It's an old news now, but they announced that kindergarten
2016,
not
Yep.
2018. You see, that's how long it was.
Yeah.
2016, that all kindergarten practitioners, teachers should have at least a diploma in education,
Yes,
diploma in early child education.
yes,
DEC,
that's right.
To
Yeah.
be a qualified teacher. Right. So moving on to the what is this? This is an industry session.
Yes. So it's like at the SEGI group of colleges, we are very much in contact with the industry. Yes. So we do a lot of things. If you go into our Facebook, you will find a whole series of webinars that we conducted throughout the lockdown periods.
Yep.
Yeah. We actually started off very early once we went into lockdown to look at sustainability in the industry.
Yeah, and we've gathered a lot of views. I think in total we have more than 2,000 views per webinar on average.
And they can still catch the webinars if they
They
hook up.
can.
Yeah?
So just go on to YouTube or go on to Facebook and look for, I think it was ECCE Insights.
Yes.
ECCE Insights. Search ECCE Insights with SEGI, and then you'll be able to find the webinars online.
And so this was the latest one that we did just a few days ago, 14 April 2021, where we had this session as part of our virtual career fair. And we invited none other than Mrs. Patricia Tay. Her Peter and Jane Kindergarten is now part of Busy Bees Asia, which is one of the largest early childhood organizations, yes, in the world. And then we have Mr. Jerry Yeo from White House Penang, yes, and then of course Mr. Chia from Talento Group. So they came in and they spoke to our students, yes, on why they are in this industry, and they also advise our students and our graduates, yes, on what they are looking for if they want you to join their establishments.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like, again, the focus is on, do you have what it takes, yeah, to either join SEGI or to join the top players like the Busy Bees or White House or Talento and the many other top kindergartens that we have in Malaysia.
I guess the message here is we have what it takes. We have all the tools and we have all the strategies to make you successful. I think the question comes back to, are you the right person to join this industry? Or are you the right person to join these programs? Because we have a lot of success stories. We know what it takes, but are you up for it or not? That's the question, isn't it?
So moving on, just very quickly, yeah.
Mhm.
So earlier on, we looked at people who knew what they wanted
Do.
to do, that is join early childhood, from younger days itself, and they went straight into the pathway. But then we also have many people who come into early childhood from different industries. For example, like Mr. Pang. Mr. Pang was from the finance industry, and his wife Annie. Annie came from the journalism line. Yes, so together, husband and wife. First, Mr. Pang studied with us in July 2003, and Annie joined us later in July 2006. And both of them are now in China running the first international Montessori kindergarten in Chongqing, China.
Oh,
Yeah. So when you tell me Chongqing, at first I thought it was this small little place until I went to Chongqing, and my goodness, it's huge. Yeah. So in that huge place, yes, there's this first international Montessori kindergarten established by our graduates. It was in collaboration with Tony Busan. Yeah. So that's why their center is called Busan Montessori Chongqing. Huilin left a very successful advertising career.
Ah,
Yeah. Okay. It's like you could be in finance, journalism, advertising. You never know when the call to join early childhood can hit you. Okay, yeah. So Puilin left the advertising line and joined our Montessori program. And based after her completion of her diploma with us, Puilin went to Indonesia, specifically to an island called Gili Trawangan.
is that a big place or a small
No, I
place
think
now?
that's a very, very small place. Yeah. When the tsunami hit Indonesia the second time round, it actually wiped out her center.
Wow.
Yes. And the students from the college, yes, held food fair, and we raised a fair amount of money to help her rebuild her school.
Wow.
Yeah. So the school is still operational, serving the community in Gili Trawangan. But Puilin has recently returned to Malaysia, and she now runs, if you look at the next slide, she now runs an organization called Rimbun Montessori, where the center uses gardening as the curriculum for the school.
Wow.
So it is through gardening that the children will naturally learn about the world that they live in, and also literacy, numeracy skills. Yeah.
So what you're saying is kindergarten nowadays is not just about going into a classroom and then do things inside a classroom. It's also about bringing children outside into nature. That is possible as well.
Yes, in fact, we should take the children outdoors as often as we can. Yeah, in fact, our national curriculum standards, yes, for preschool states that the children need to have physical activity at least 30 minutes each day.
Wow.
And the best place to have physical activity is outdoors. Yeah.
I see.
Okay, we also have had students from diverse communities. For example, Janita Engi came to us from the Orang Asli community, and we are very pleased that upon completion of her diploma with us, a diploma in early childhood with us, Janita went back to her community and started an early childhood learning center. Yes, and for her efforts with what she has done for her community, Janita got an award in conjunction with the International Day of the World's Indigenous People Celebration. Yeah, and this was like way back in 2016.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Moving on, I think we have to move a little bit faster. There are so many success stories that we want to show.
Okay, yeah. So very quickly, this is Patrina, yeah, whose center was visited by President Obama.
That's him right there in the photo, isn't it?
Yes. So this is the only educational center that the then President of United States visited when he came to Malaysia. Yeah. So it's no wonder then that Patrina gets awards like the second Sharjah International Award for Refugee Advocacy and Support.
Wow.
So it's like our students, our graduates, yes, when they leave us, there is this fantastic level of confidence that allows them to go out and,
Do great things.
yes, make a difference. They
Mm.
make a difference.
Make
They
a difference,
change
yes.
lives. Yeah, like Larissa, in addition to being an author of books, yes, she's now recently appointed the literacy project manager with ECM Libra Foundation. Yes, we have Nashmi Hanifa, who is a play leader together with classmates, yes, at Kindergarten Bukit Jelutong. Yes, and she's also a co-author. And we even have Chai Yume, who's down in Australia right now, and she designs toys for young children.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, it really doesn't matter where you start. Like, this is another good friend of ours, Arjuna. Yes, Arjuna has diploma in accounting, a degree in business management, and a master's in early childhood.
Ah.
Yes. Okay. So with Arjuna, Arjuna left the world of business and joined a startup company in Singapore, which is called
Little Lives.
Little Lives.
Mm.
And Little Lives is this learning management system that was designed for early childhood centers. Yeah. So this is a industry partner of ours. Yeah. And you never know what study in early childhood at SEGI group of colleges can lead you to. So please, this is Ifam Hussein, who was appointed way back in 2019 as the Minister of State for Gender, Family and Social Services. Yeah. So Ifam came from Maldives, studied the degree with us, went back to Maldives, and is now giving back to her community as well. Yeah. So CY tells me, I got to speed up, but it's like this is only a tip of what our graduates have achieved.
Yeah, and I really like how you open your presentation by showing our viewers the success stories that we've had, because I think that opens their eyes to how much they could achieve as an early childhood graduate.
So it's like I always tell the students, if you come in, yes, and you want to be an early childhood educator, there's already so much dignity in doing that, because like we already said, yes, you're going to be touching so many lives and influencing what's going to take place in the future. But we also tell our graduates that you don't have to stop there. Yeah. And that's why, like what you mentioned earlier on, if you want to work in a kindergarten these days, you need to have at least a diploma. And we always encourage our students, don't stop at just a diploma, but to stand ahead of, literally one head above of everybody else in the industry, and do the degree with us.
Yes.
Because one of the learning outcomes, yes, from the degree that we offer in collaboration with the University of Greenwich is that you will become what is known as a change agent. As a change agent, what you will do is you will go into the industry and make a difference, like what our award-winning graduates have achieved. They set up centers where centers have never been set up. They pick up curriculums that nobody else has ever thought about. Yeah, so it's like early childhood qualification from SEGI literally makes you a mover and shaker in the industry.
To enable you to make a difference.
Yes.
That's the keyword, isn't it?
It's like we're never satisfied with the status quo. Yeah. So if you look at what is in store for you when you join the industry, just to give you a very quick look at, there are going to be government or private institutions that you can join. You can be involved with either the Tadika, which is 4 to 6 years of age, governed by the Ministry of Education, or you can go into the TASKA, which is under Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat, and that is from 0 to 4, and this will be childcare centers. You can also establish workplace childcare centers, yes, and there are lots of tax incentives when corporations do this. Yeah, you can also be involved in maybe home-based childcare, or start daycare centers, child enrichment centers, work in international schools, or homeschooling is on the rise these days. So there's many things that you need to do. You can do. Yeah. So what would you be doing when you're in this industry? Yeah. You will be designing curriculum, deciding what you're going to do each day so that the children under your care can learn and can learn with joy. So that at the end of the day, you can maximize the human potential.
Mm.
What will you be doing is you'll be interacting with a whole lot of people. Next slide. Yeah. So to be in early childhood, you're going to find that you are not only going to be interacting with young children. So the interactions will be beyond children. You will have to be working with their families. You will be engaged with a lot of PR work, yes, with the community. You're also going to find that you're not going to be alone when you help to raise children, because there's this very famous African saying that it takes a whole village to raise a child.
Indeed.
Yes, so it's not just the family at home and the center, but you will be working with a whole lot of other agencies to help bring out the best in the children. Yeah, so you are going to be observing, listening, documenting, communicating. You are literally, CY, a sociologist, a researcher.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like when you join early childhood, there's so many names that you can tag on. So this is joke in the industry, we are fighting for better salaries. Yes. So we are advocating for that. Yeah. And what we want to tell the listening audience is that when you write what your occupation is, when you say that you're early childhood professional, you are a whole lot more than that. Yes. Because if you look at the next slide, one of the things that you need to do in early childhood is that you need to give the children a right learning environment. Yeah. It's not just a table or a chair or a corner somewhere. It has got to be the right space for the human potential to come about. And for that, you are like an architect, you're an interior designer, you're also going to be a housekeeper, and then maybe not so glamorous, you also have to be the janitor, the plumber, and the gardener.
All at once.
Yes. Yeah. So this is where we are saying, the people should actually pay us a whole lot more. Yeah. So this is a very quick look at what early childhood settings can look like. So if you move to the next slide, CY, you're going to see, yes, this is the picture on the far left. That is Fuji Kindergarten. It was voted one of the best kindergartens in the world. And if you look at the middle picture on the right, that
The
is
round
actually
thing,
the
right?
round thing. That is actually the roof of this kindergarten. So the children study downstairs, and if they feel that they need to move, because young children need to move, they can climb up the stairs and be boring, or they can climb up a tree. Yeah.
Wow.
Or if you go back to the previous slide, I really want to show this. The picture at the bottom, yes, is a farming kindergarten in Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So in Vietnam, yeah, we have centers that look as big and as grand as that. And I always ask my students, we don't need to look to other countries, to see what they are doing. The question is, when are you going to build your kindergarten? Yeah, and make it look something as great as this, so that the early childhood students in other countries are going to talk about what Malaysia is doing. Yeah, so this is our challenge to our students. Yeah, and of course you will be reading stories. You will have to entertain the children. You have to tell stories. You have to sing. You have to be a clown. Yeah. See, this is why we say, yeah, your salary needs to go up. You have to manage the classroom. Yeah, so sometimes you are like a police person.
Oh,
You have to
law
say,
enforcer.
yeah, the rule says, yes, we cannot be running in our classroom. Yeah. So you got to make sure that rules are adhered to. You're going to be the role model. You're going to be playing together with children. You might also find yourself in the kitchen, yes, cooking meals. You're also a nutritionist, because you got to make sure that the meals that are served just right for the children's health and physical well-being. Yeah. And very importantly, we say that you have to be the voice of the children. Yeah. Because you will have the knowledge to know what are their rights and how their rights can be supported. Yeah. So all this is going to be in store for you when you join the early childhood industry. And because of COVID-19, we found that we had to take on new roles after that, because we had to go into online teaching, which is something that we really don't want to advocate for early childhood, because screen time needs to be limited.
Yes.
So that required a whole lot of creativity, flexibility, and boldness to take the step to go online and to get it right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm very pleased to say that many of our students who are working in the industry, they were able to make the leap to online classes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's where they became, like TV show presenters. They were producers, and many centers, found their staff having to work together to make sure that online classes still deliver what they need to deliver. And it's like literally on par with the physical experience.
Yeah, and that is why we say when you study early childhood, right, it's so much more than just teaching. In order for you to deliver effective lessons like this online, there are a lot of things that you must know. There are a lot of theories that you must understand, right? In order to put this to practice.
So the question is, are you right for it? Yeah. So sometimes, like I said, we have had students who come into the course with a big fat no, I really don't want to be in it.
Mhm.
But somewhere along the line, they feel that that they are touched by the philosophy of early childhood care and education, by what they can achieve. Yeah. So sometimes, even if you're not sure whether this is in it, whether this is just right for you or not, yeah, we also advise you that perhaps you don't dismiss it.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can come to any of our SEGI group of colleges and ask to maybe audit a class,
Mm.
and have a feel. Yeah. Or maybe even come in and study with us on a micro credential. Yeah, which is
Do one subject.
just one subject.
Yeah.
Take one subject and see whether you like it or not.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then if you like it, continue with us. Yeah. It's like we're just simply saying it. Yeah. Give it a chance. Yeah. So this is the whole list of things that you must have.
That's a lot of things, Miss Caroline.
Yeah. Because, yes, CY, you have to do so many things.
Indeed.
We're not just saying, yeah, you come into the early childhood center and look after children. Yeah, it's a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the whole package that you need to bring with you to be able to deliver all the many, many things that we say you must deliver. Yeah. And if you look at people like Mr. Chia Eng Kun from Talento, Jerry from White House, and Mrs. Patricia Tay, they're in it literally for life.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what you need to have. If you don't have this yet, yeah, your study at the SEGI group of colleges will help you to develop a little bit more of this.
Mhm.
And the rest of it, yes, if the passion is there, yeah, everything will fall into place. Yes. It comes through a whole lot of experience. Yeah. So sometimes we tell students, you need to give it a chance.
Mhm.
You might not have the frightening long list that CY went, yeah, but it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes time. And if you're patient with yourself, yes, there's so much that you can
can do.
deliver.
Yeah.
So why are we doing all of this? Because the early years are so super important. Everybody tells us, like in this slide, yeah, or perhaps what was one of the most important findings recently was Nobel laureate professor in economics, yes, James Heckman. I can't remember, a few years back, yeah, said that when you invest in early childhood development, when you ensure that quality early childhood development is there, the returns are 7 to 10%.
Wow.
Yeah. And because of that, the whole world listened. And the whole world now place emphasis on early childhood. And that was one of the reasons in Malaysia, the government made the decision to enforce the minimum requirement of a diploma in early childhood. Yeah. So by 2020, and again, because of the COVID situation, the deadline, I think, has been slightly extended.
Mm.
Yeah. So this is a shout out to all the in-service kindergarten teachers. Yes. If you are working in a kindergarten and if you do not yet have the diploma in early childhood, the requirement still remains. So if you have friends who are in kindergarten, yes, and you know the teachers are not qualified, yes, do ask them to drop by in any of our campuses, yes, because they must have the diploma in early childhood.
Mhm.
We got to make sure everybody that the right people are teaching our children.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's our group of early childhood in-service
In-service
teachers.
early child teachers.
Yes, and they recently finished their course.
We
Yeah.
literally have hundreds of in-service teachers studying with us.
Yes. Yeah, in all our campuses.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just to say that the government has put into place certain measures to make sure that we are doing the right thing. So like what CY mentioned earlier on, that we have a collaboration with Finland, because what we have done is we have gone way beyond the standards that have been set by the ministry.
Mhm.
Yeah. So SEGI group of colleges has been offering early childhood teacher training, yes, since 1999. Yeah, way before the government says that, okay, everybody needs to be trained.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we are above just following standards. So we are at this stage, just like how we push our students to be above the best. Yes, we constantly challenge ourselves to make sure that what our students get in the colleges, yes, will be more than what they might get anywhere else.
Mm.
Yes, because we're SEGI. We cannot offer anything less than that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And that is why our students do so well, because we really push them.
we push them. Yeah. Do we have a few more minutes?
We do. We do.
Okay, then so CY says we push our students. That's because we push ourselves, and we need to do this because we are thinking about the future of Malaysia.
Indeed.
Yeah, and maybe that is why recruiters from Singapore have always come to us. So this was a photo that we took with Sparkle Thought Singapore when the whole team visited us back in August 2018, and it's the nice figure there. Singapore dollar 2,500. Yeah, this is the salary that you will get. Yeah, this is also maybe thereabouts. Yes, the salary that you will get in Malaysia, but it is ringgit Malaysia. Yeah, so the people are very attracted to the Singapore dollar, and when they move down to Singapore, our students are actually doing very well.
Mhm.
So Sparkle Thoughts is a kindergarten chain set up by the government, because this is the People's Action Party, which is the ruling party in Singapore.
Mhm.
And so this is under the PAP Community Foundation.
Ah.
Yeah, so they're constantly asking for our students. So if you look at the next slide, yes, we recently had a virtual career day. We're not going to let COVID-19 stop us, yeah? And we're not going to let it stop our students from moving forwards as well. So that is why we have a very strong career office in the SEGI group of colleges. And together we came up with this career day, and we brought together 3 of the top players for ECC in Singapore.
Wow.
So we have got Busy Bees Asia, which is now what Mrs. Patricia Tay and her group are part of.
Mhm.
We also have eBridge and, of course, Sparkle Thoughts.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they had the session for our students and our alumni, and the session actually featured our students working in Singapore, speaking on behalf of their organizations, yes, and telling our students, yeah,
To join them.
yeah, okay,
So if you are looking for opportunities to go overseas and become a teacher, earn more, right? Segi is a good platform for you as well.
yeah, okay. So if you want to go further than Singapore, yes, we also have had recruitment coming to us from China. Yes, so for example, this is for an organization which is called Little Lions Child Development Center. And this center was set up by one of our students. Yeah. Sonia studied the diploma with us, and then she moved on to Greenwich to do her degree there. Then after which she set up this parent-child kind of enrichment club. Yes, and it's in UK and in China. Yeah, so we are waiting for her to start the first one in Malaysia as well.
Wow.
Okay. So the thing is, I hope I have kind of like impressed upon everybody that there is a lot that you can gain if you join ECCE.
Yes, and I think you have really opened the eyes, open our viewers' eyes to what is possible in the ECC industry. And again, I emphasize, it's not just about going into a kindergarten and teaching students on a day on a day to day, and then that's how you grow old and it gets boring and stuff like that. But there's so many more interesting things that you can do, and there are just so much of lives that you could potentially change, right?
If you do it right.
If you do it right.
Yeah.
And that's the keyword, right? To do it right, to do
Yes.
it professionally. We hear this over and over again, right? The advocacy for professionalism in the industry, which is very, very much needed. So this, I guess this is the closing, Ms. Caroline?
Almost the closing,
Almost
right?
there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
almost there.
So it's like if you feel it in your heart and if you know it in your mind that somehow or other the ECCE is your path, then you have to make the right choice. You have to ask yourself, where am I going to go to get started? Yes. So this is where you need to ask yourself, which organization, which college am I going to join? You have to ask yourself, does this college have a track record? What kind of awards have they received? Are there collaborations, yes, that they have? Yeah, for example, with the government. Yes, did the government give them any kind of projects nationwide?
Because that's a very good indication of the quality of education.
Because if you get government recognition, if you get industry recognition, these are signs that tell you that these people seem to know what they're doing when they are training me to become an early childhood professional. Yeah, look at who are their graduates. What have they achieved? Look at the achievements of the staff. Yeah, step into the campuses. Look at the learning experiences. Check out on social media. Yeah, what the students are doing inside the classroom, outside of the classroom. Yeah, look at what is being shared about what they are learning. Is it relevant? Yeah, is it updated? Do you like what you see and what you hear? Yeah. So you have to do a little bit of your homework. Yeah. So coming to a session like this is a first step. Yeah, because then you get an idea of what is quite possible.
Yeah, and we would like to also invite our viewers. I mean, if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, reach out to us as well. Yeah, we'll be able. We would love to show you more, and we would love to really sit down with you and show you what is possible. And on the screen here is Miss Caroline's contact number, her personal contact number. Thanks for giving your personal contact number. That's very nice of you. And
that's why I'm
her
getting all the
email.
strange calls sometimes.
And her email address. So do contact Miss Caroline if you are interested in the education programs. And it says here, people with passion can change the world for the better. And that is what we see over and over again in all of our graduates.
Yes.
So to wrap this up, in Segi Group of Colleges, of course, we offer a lot of scholarships and a lot of freebies, especially during the open day season, which is right now during this weekend. So if you're interested in our program, you could, scan the QR codes that is shown here. It will bring you directly to WhatsApp. And then, that's how you can get in touch with us. And that's all from me. Miss Caroline, what are your final words of advice to all of our viewers out there?
Thank you for joining us.
And we'll see you in our upcoming sharing sessions just like this. So stay tuned and stay connected. Thank you. This is CY and Miss Caroline signing off.
Bye.